Hello Libra, this is your love and relationship reading for November 2017. Give me a few more seconds and I will cut the cards. The first card is a Five of Swords. The second card is a Nine of Pentacles. This is an Eight of Wands. Ace of Pentacles. King of Swords. Wow, right in the center of your spread. It's interesting. I have the Empress. I have an Eight of Swords. So you have some eights here, and you definitely have a significant number of swords. I have a Queen of Swords. And then this is a Six of Cups. Excuse me. So definitely some of your energy in here, Libra. You're going through some shifts and changes. And this happened to Virgo. Virgo only had one major arcana card, and it was the Empress. So I think that's really weird. Now, keep in mind, the King of Swords is usually associated with Aquarius, and the Queen of Swords is actually associated with Libra. So there have been a number of readings for the month of November so far where the significator for your sun sign is actually showing up. The tarot card that represents your astrological sun sign is showing up. I believe for Cancer, it was Chariot, and that showed up. And then for Leo, Strength showed up right in the middle. So your Queen of Swords is showing up here. Your energy and your decisions and your manifestation and your power to manifest your destiny is showing up here. We only have one major arcana card, but I think once again, just like Virgo, you're surrounded by all these swords here, which indicate your shifts and your changes and you making decisions and you taking control over this particular obstacle or whatever's going on here for the month of November. So it's up to you basically, Libra, as I start this reading. That's how I'm going to approach it. Now, you do have a significant number of pentacles as well with the Empress. Pentacles represent the material world, finances, career, the things we buy, our possessions, where we live. And so there's some strong, in a relationship reading, I look at pentacles as the physical aspects of the relationship, whether you two are actually living together, the proximity the two partners might have towards each other. We're also looking at sexuality and your connection to each other physically as well, in addition to the material world and how your relationship is shaped by the practical everyday life. So having said that, I'll get back to this Empress in a second because I'm getting this strong vibe of love here, a new love, or a strong attraction. But when we start here, you have these swords, and as I said, your significator, the Queen of Swords, is associated with Libra. King of Swords is associated with Aquarius. So when we start here with the Five of Swords, we have a blow to the ego. We have, usually the Five of Swords means defeat. You've suffered a defeat. Something didn't go your way. And so some of you might actually be in a situation to where you're recovering you're suffering a defeat, you've just dealt with a setback. What we have here, Nine of Pentacles, this is the card of prosperity and happiness. And remember, the number 9 is also associated with the close of a cycle. Sometimes it does mean abundance, having everything you want. And so I think it's interesting that out of this struggle, I feel like this Nine of Pentacles is like everything's looking up in your material world as far as relationships. That some of you previously going into the month of November are sort of feeling happy about your material world and open to love if you're not dating yet. But I also get a sense of a home life, your career and finances that there might have been a struggle with. Because after this, we have an Eight of Wands. It's the only card with wands you have. But this is a card of swift completion. It can also mean travel, actual travel. And some of you might have had the opportunity to travel and be with someone. Okay? And sometimes this means messages, big surprises that happen as well. So I get the feeling for some of you, when I'm seeing here with these first 3 cards, a big setback that maybe you've had to deal with or you've overcome. And in this relationship, we have happy, you're dating happily, or you're living together happily, but it feels like for some of you Libras, and the last few months have been tough for you. The last few readings I've done, a lot of you Libras have been dealing with pretty, depressing situations. Your energy's been very depressed. So this is sort of like a love of life, so to speak, that for some of you, it's in your relationships, you found your groove, so to speak, after a little bit of conflict. But it sort of is interesting that after this Nine of Pentacles, all of a sudden we have this speed. So some of you might have actually had the opportunity to finally travel, to be together if you've been in a long distance relationship. But I also get that some happy news, big surprises, someone calling you up, just communication. That could also be some of the reasons why you had such a positive shift here. Okay, so I'm seeing this Eight of Wands, not just necessarily travel. The bigger vibe that I'm getting is some positive outcome. Okay, and a positive outcome that you are happy to hear finally. So when we get here, an Ace of Pentacles, which I always see sometimes as the beginning of a relationship. Maybe some of you are starting to date. But this is also the card of new opportunity. So new opportunities for relationship, whether it's makeup or breakup. But this Pentacles does represent a new beginning. Aces always do that. And it's also about the physical material world, as I've explained before. So I think it's interesting when I get here to this row for you Libras, this King of Swords here, the King of Swords is an intellectual. He's a wise person. He has strong communication skills. It seems as if some of you have embraced a new opportunity in the relationship. And there's this Empress here who is also the queen of everything material. She's sort of like the pentacles are her suit, if you will. And she's also about family, motherhood, sexuality, seduction. So I get this strong physical connection, maybe an encounter for some of you that's pulled you in. And this, maybe even this new energy to connect with someone sexually and being together. Okay, just the physical aspects of being together and being happy. So that can play out in a number of different ways for some of you, especially if you're just now dating. But even in a long-term relationship, you know, it seems to me like this new energy, this physical, sexual energy between you two, someone is drawn in, someone misses you, you know, and sometimes in a relationship you go through these cycles where you two spend a lot of time together. So yeah, this seems to be a very strong sexual, physical undercurrent where some of you with another partner might have been very engaged with each other. You know, it's not so much emotional, but it's the physical. But when we get here to the future, certain things are starting to play out here. You have new opportunities here in the relationship, different decisions. But when we get here to the future, we have an Eight of Swords, which is the card of trying to work your way through limitations, feeling trapped, right? And she is surrounded by swords. She doesn't know how she's going to get out of this, but all she has to do is take off her blindfold. And it seems like she does with this Queen of Swords. This Queen of Swords was trapped. You were trapped. You didn't know what direction you wanted to go in. Maybe you got spooked, Libra, about a potential obstacle in the relationship. But when I see this Queen of Swords follow the Eight of Swords, I'm seeing you taking off your blindfold and seeing things in a new way and making new decisions. Now, what I find intriguing here, Libra, see that Six of Cups? That's the only cup you have. And remember, the Six of Cups is attached to the past. And I definitely feel some of you with new opportunities, you're opening up to a stronger relationship. Somehow this card shows up, memories of the past, sentimental feelings attached to the past. And it could be for some of you an ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend is still relevant here. And it could be communication here. You know, looking back at what's happening here in this middle row, it just feels like some of you are this new beginning, this new direction in your love lives. It could still involve a long-term partner for those of you who are attached. But I am seeing a reconciliation, a possible reconciliation for some of you. And it could be some of you Libras. Keep in mind, Libras, because you're an air sign, you do tend to think a lot about relationships. You're more guarded. You tend to pass judgment a little bit, and also sometimes because I'm a Libra too, but Libras do tend to walk out and make themselves unavailable when they feel hurt, when their ego is hurt, right? As in the Five of Swords, as I explained earlier. You do tend to just walk away. And then you have time to think about it. Then you have time, you know, time passes. And, you know, you're engaged in the real life. Your life goes on. And then all of a sudden you're like, you know, I need to reconsider. Should I get back with this person or not? That's definitely a possibility here. So when you come back to these pentacles here, you're kind of seeing a bruised ego, a rejection, and you're walking away and you're starting your life, you're just moving on. But then there's this new shift with this Eight of Pentacles here. And it could be a shift with someone else. But it is possible, never discount that some of you might be struggling with two relationships or two options. But I'm definitely feeling this, the Queen of Swords, who represents Libra, is turned toward the past. She's confronting the past for some reason. And so new beginnings, but new opportunities that you may or may not take. But in this love life, in this relationship, if some of you did have problems with a partner here with this Five of Swords and there was a breakup or you walked out, it feels as if there's going to be opportunities to just revisit where you both are and discuss where you want to go, because it could still be a matter of strong attraction physically and sexually. Some of you still may, your bodies are saying yes, yes, yes. Your minds are saying no, no, no. But whether you see it as a blessing or a curse. For some of you, that ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend that you just had a quarrel with, or that you walked away from, or they walked away from you, it's gonna, there's going to be an opportunity to revisit your issues. And I almost thought when I saw this Ace of Pentacles with the seduction of the Empress and this King of Swords, I almost feel like some of you had a hookup, or you had that you may meet your ex again and you miss them, and you know, they proposition, let's get back together, and it's sort of like, I still miss this person, I love being with them. I don't know why I pick up things like that. But I do see in here in your future, seeing things in a new way, taking your blindfold off, not feeling helpless about the situation. You're going back into a previous relationship perhaps with, you're feeling much more stronger and confident. And that can definitely be some of the energy of the Ace of Pentacles, because sometimes the Ace of Pentacles, as far as personality, it describes the ego. Okay, very strong ego, very strong as far as your confidence level, very strong. So Ace of Pentacles is revealing a lot here, that, you know, physically and mentally you're like, I'm ready to go, I'm ready for a relationship, I'm tired of moping. But some of you, if you did have a big blow up with an ex, then some time has passed. That could also be another explanation for the Ace of Pentacles. And you're ready to just deal with it and resolve it. So I'm pulling an outcome card. And what we have here is a Seven of Cups, which is interesting, because this is the card of choices, making an emotional choice. I say a lot. I wish I could stop that habit. When you get the Seven of Cups, it's like you have so many options and choices. Choose. It's sort of like a genie popping out of a bottle, giving you a wish. Okay? But when it's in reverse, it's a warning from the tarot that things are not always what they seem. And I think it's interesting, this was a Six of Cups and this is a Seven of Cups. That looking back at the past and maybe romanticizing the past, you know, it's good to talk to an ex, but you need to be careful. Things aren't always what they seem. It's always when you miss something or miss someone, or when you look back at old pictures and you go through your memories. Yes, Libras, in any air sign, we do tend to romanticize a lot. So it's important that, yes, meet with the ex or start talking again, but don't make the wrong choice here. That's definitely a warning from the tarot that things are not going to be what they seem. Also, it could be indecisiveness. Okay, maybe you do get to talk to that ex and they're still not sure, or you're still not sure you want to get back together. So yeah, some interesting surprises, a chance to revisit, but also a chance for a new energy in the relationship. But I think for some of you, this could be the physical aspects of for some of you in long-term relationships, the physical aspects, maybe even children or pregnancy. But I do feel some of you are going to be, the past is going to come back in one way or the other. So that was my reading for you this month, Libra. And once again, thank you to all my subscribers, especially my new subscribers. And my special offer for the month of November is that you can have a $15 personal reading, just like I just did for Libra just now. It's usually $20, but for the month of November, it's going to be at a discount. So go to tarotbyaire.com. You'll see the booking button. If you click it, you get to see all the services that I offer. So once again, thank you so much. And I know that some of you Scorpios, Libras, I hope you had a wonderful birthday. But for some of you Scorpios, your birthday is probably ongoing now. Your solar month has started. So happy birthday to all the Scorpios, late October and most of November. So take care. As always, I wish you love and light, and I'll see you next month.